and get comfortable. All right, everyone's muted. So welcome, happy Thursday. I was about to say Tuesday. I hope you're all having a great week. Take a few moments now to settle in. Like we always do at the beginning of class, this is a really important time to sort of separate yourself from what else or whatever else you were doing. I was teaching a virtual class earlier this week and someone pointed out that they had literally shut their laptop off from work and jumped right into this. So for a lot of us, we're going right from one thing to the other. When you have that transition, maybe getting in your car for 10 minutes and driving to a class or something, that's sort of a separation, a natural break in your day. But when we go right from one thing to another, sometimes we miss that. So if that sounds like you, maybe you just ran in the door, you were out doing something, maybe you just finished work, whatever it was, take these few moments here on your mat now to just maybe take a big sigh, maybe do a little stretch, a little side to side stretch, moving a little bit before you settle down. And then slowly starting to let that breath get a little deeper, let the eyes close, and just become really present right now. Noticing the stillness, the quietness, just letting the whole day up until now go. Let it float away like a cloud. And also letting go of whatever you'll be doing later today. So really just being right here, right now on your mat. Before we start to move a little bit, go ahead and set that intention for your practice. So maybe that is your intention, being present, being here, being patient, slowing down, breathing. Just a couple examples, but let your intention be whatever you need this evening. Go ahead and take a couple more breaths, feeling that movement of the breath through the body, that sensation of calm and peace that comes over you with the breath. And then after you take those 2 or 3 more breaths, we'll slowly start to make our way into a full body stretch. So go ahead and begin to reach the arms overhead, kind of stretch out from side to side a little bit, maybe lengthen through one side and then the other side. And then on the next breath, start to draw your knees in towards you, coming into a little ball. So wrapping your arms around your shins, give yourself a little hug. You can rock from side to side, you can make circles, or you can stay still. Does not matter. Let your body kind of tell you what it wants to do, what it needs to do right now. And then go ahead and bring your hands behind the thighs, tucking your chin into your chest. We're going to start to rock our way right up to a seated position. So coming all the way up into a seat, crossing the legs, sitting up nice and tall. Grab a pillow or a blanket or something that you can sit on, resting the hands in the lap on your knees. Take a deep breath in as you lengthen through the spine. Lifting up the head so that your chin is parallel to the ground. The top of your head is lifting up a little taller. The shoulders are relaxing. Take a nice deep breath here, feeling how different it feels to breathe with this nice tall posture. Nice full breath into the nose. Let it go. And then let's start to circle the upper body. So bringing the chest forward and around, making a circular motion, maybe a side to side motion. Again, letting the body sort of tell you what it is that it wants to do, what it needs to do. Going back in both directions. And then starting to make your way back up through center, sitting up nice and tall, relaxing the shoulders again. Let the chin release forward so that you're looking at the mat in front of you. And then just allow the neck to roll all the way around, taking a couple full neck rolls. Really focusing on relaxing through the shoulders, the upper back, the neck. So that's why we're moving our neck, to release some of that tension and that tightness where everybody holds something. We've all got something going on in our neck and upper shoulders, so try to relax. And then slowly lifting the head back up, take a breath in and lift the shoulders forward and up. And then as you exhale, let them roll down the back. We're gonna do that 2 or 3 more times. So with your breath, lift those shoulders up. As you exhale, release them down. And then doing the same thing in the opposite direction. So the inhale rolls the shoulders up the back, and then the exhale releases them forward. Still really focusing on kind of breaking up some of that tightness in the shoulders and the neck. And then allowing the shoulders to relax as you sit up nice and tall. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, coming into a butterfly, interlacing your hands under your toes. Take a breath in as you lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, start to fold forward, pressing the elbows into the shins. Thinking about bringing the chest towards the toes. So right now, we're not necessarily curling the back and trying to bring your head to the toes. Think about keeping a nice flat back and just sort of drawing the upper body down. And then slowly coming back up to a seated position, lifting up through the upper body. Extend the right leg long. The left foot comes into the right inner thigh. Turn so that you're facing that right leg. And on the inhale, the arms lift up. As you exhale, fold over that right leg. And then really just doing whatever you need here to kind of warm up that leg a little bit. So maybe that's rolling out the ankle a little bit. Maybe it's massaging the back of the leg or putting a little bend in the knee. It might be moving, a little rock from side to side, or maybe it's just staying still and breathing. And then slowly starting to lift back up, we're gonna find a twist. So the left foot is gonna come to the outside of the right knee. You can bend that right knee if it feels comfortable, bringing the right foot to the side of the body, or you can keep it straight. So whichever feels more accessible. The left hand comes to the side of you, and you inhale, lifting the right arm up. As you exhale, twist to the left. So the right elbow is hooking on the left knee. Take a deep breath in as you sit up a little taller. And then as you exhale, twist a little further. So focusing on lifting and lengthening. They're both important here. And then gently making your way back through center. Let's twist in the opposite direction just for a breath. Twisting to the right side, kind of unraveling the spine a little bit. And then as you make your way back through center, go ahead and extend both legs long. Tap the backs of the legs on the mat. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring the right foot into the left inner thigh. Flex through the left toes. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. As you exhale, fold over that left leg. Same thing as you did on the other side. Massage the back of the leg, roll out the ankle, bend the knee, whatever feels good, whatever that leg needs, do that. And then slowly lifting back up all the way through a seated position, taking that right foot to the outside of the left knee. Bending that left knee if you did so on the other side and that felt comfortable, or keeping it straight. The right hand to the side of the body, and as you inhale, the left arm lifts up. As you exhale, twist to the right. The left elbow hooks on the right knee. Think about starting that twist from the base of the spine, working your way all the way up. So you're twisting throughout the whole spine. And then slowly coming back through center over to the opposite side, twisting to the left just for a breath. And back through center, go ahead and extend the legs one more time. Kind of tap the tops of the feet on the mat, and then make your way into a tabletop position. So coming over onto your hands and knees, finding that nice flat back to start. And we'll move through a couple rounds of our cat and cow. So as you inhale, the stomach releases down, the gaze goes up. As you exhale, round the back, press the ground away from you. And then continue to move here with your breath. As always, adding on any movement that feels good, pausing in a spot that feels good. And then starting to make your way back through center, finishing the round that you're on. Find a nice flat back. Extend the right leg long, keeping the right toes tucked onto the mat. Begin to press yourself forwards and backwards, stretching through the bottom of the foot. I know I do this one all the time, but I think it's so good for your feet. And it feels good. And then as you come back through stillness, go ahead and lift that right leg, point the toes towards the back of the room, draw the belly button up towards the spine. As you inhale, start to draw the knee towards the nose, round the back, give that knee a kiss. As you exhale, send it back. And 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, extend it long. And 1 more time, inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, extend it long. We're gonna find a modified side plank, so the left foot is gonna slide off your mat, the right foot comes down onto the mat, the right fingertips reach overhead, so you're creating one straight line on the right side of the body, really pressing up through the hips. And then if you want to add on here, we're gonna lift the right leg up. So we're creating a little more of a balance. Extend the right leg behind you, reach the right fingertips in front of you. So you're balancing on the left hand and the left knee. If you want to add on even further, bend the right knee. See if you can reach back for that right hand. And I apologize if you're hearing noise. My cat is running around like a crazy person. If you have that foot and hand connection, go ahead and re-extend the arm and leg, and then go ahead and put both back down onto the mat. Coming back to your tabletop, you can kind of rock the hips from side to side, settle in, and then take it over to the other side, extending the left leg, keep the left toes tucked as you start to press yourself forwards and backwards on the left side. And then as you come to stillness, that left leg lifts, point the toes towards the back of the room, take a breath in, start to draw the left knee to the nose. Exhale, extend it long. 2 more times on this side. Inhale, draw the knee to the nose. Exhale, extend it long. And 1 more time. And then we'll find that modified side plank again. So the right foot slides off your mat, the left foot grounds down, the left fingertips reach to the top of your mat. So you're lengthening through the whole left side of the body, getting really long. See if you can reach that arm a little further away from you. Roll that left shoulder open and back. And then option to stay here. If this feels great and you want a little more of this, do that. If you want that addition, you're gonna lift the left foot up off the mat. So you're balancing on the right knee and the right hand. And then maybe you try to bend that left knee, reach the hand back for the foot. Even if you don't have the foot in the hand, you can still work on just reaching for it. You're still getting that balance and that stretch just by reaching for the foot. And then slowly go ahead and re-extend the arm and leg, bring them back to the mat, finding your tabletop position, shake it all out. We're gonna come onto our knees. You can kind of sit up so you're not sitting back on your heels, but just sit up on your knees. And we're just gonna roll out the wrists a little bit. So make some circles with your wrists. We just did a lot for the feet and the ankles, so let's give the hands a little love. A couple circles in one direction, and a couple circles in the other. And then take your right fingertips, point them towards the ceiling. Use your left hand to just gently draw the fingertips towards you, so you're stretching the bottom of your wrist. Obviously not putting too much pressure, but just enough so that you feel a little stretch. And then pointing the right fingertips down towards the floor, press on the top of the right hand to make that stretch in the top of the wrist. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side. The left fingertips point towards the ceiling. Take the right hand and just gently draw the left fingertips towards you. And then go ahead and press the left fingertips down towards the mat. Wrist stretches are so important in yoga. We're on our wrists all the time, so giving them a little love is important. Go ahead and just shake your hands out a little bit, and then we'll bring the hands back down to the mat and make our way into our first downward facing dog. So when you're ready, the toes will tuck, the legs will straighten, send your hips up and back, and start to move here as you settle in. maybe pedaling out the feet a little bit, bending the knees and straightening them, rocking the hips from side to side. On the next inhale, we're gonna roll forward into a plank position. So like a wave, the whole body kind of comes forward, the shoulders come over the wrists, the tailbone tucks under, the belly button draws up. And then as you exhale, send it back to your downward facing dog. So we're gonna do that 2 more times, moving with the breath. Inhale, roll it forward to a plank. Exhale, send it back to downward facing dog. And 1 more time, inhale, roll it forward. Exhale, send it back. Good. Taking your gaze to your hands, go ahead and start to walk the feet forward until you're at a forward fold at the top of your mat. Feet can be about hips width distance apart. Go ahead and take any kind of forward fold that feels good for you. So holding on to opposite elbows, rocking side to side, bringing the hands behind the head, bending the knees, you name it. The idea is that you're just kind of relaxing through the upper body, letting gravity start to work in your favor and sort of draw that upper body down. A bend in the knees can feel good. And then slowly releasing your hands, 1 vertebrae at a time. Will start to peel all the way up until you're coming to a standing position, reaching the arms overhead, maybe a little back bend. And then as you exhale, we're gonna bring our arms into a little cactus shape. So bending at the elbows. We're gonna cross the right arm over the left, bring the backs of the hands together. This doesn't feel comfortable, you always have that option to give yourself that hug, holding on to opposite shoulders. Take a breath in, lift the fingertips up. As you exhale, fold forward. So we're pressing either the fingertips or the elbows, if you're giving yourself that hug, down towards the ground. The idea is that you're kind of opening up through the upper back a little bit, stretching through the shoulder blades. Go ahead and release the hands. On the next inhale, we're gonna lift it all the way back up. Find those cactus arms again. Left arm is gonna come on top of the right this time. Backs of the hands together, or give yourself that hug. Take a breath in, creating some space, and then on the exhale, you fold. Fingertips or elbows are pressing down towards the mat. The knees can still be bent here if that feels good. And again, go ahead and release the arms. On the next inhale, lift it all the way up. As you exhale, hands can come to the sides of the body. We're gonna take our hands, interlace them behind your back. So you're holding your hands kind of right behind your tailbone. Then you're gonna take your fists and you're gonna bring it to your right hip. So behind your back towards your right hip. Sit up or stand up nice and tall. And then slowly let the head release to the left side. So the left ear is coming towards the left shoulder. You should feel a nice stretch in the right side of the neck. So relaxing the shoulders, just allowing that head to kind of release down. And on the next inhale, lifting the head back up through center, extending the hands behind you, and then take it over to the left side. So the fists can come to the left, the head slowly releases to the right, really pressing down that left shoulder so that you get a nice opening on the left side of the neck. You can play around with moving your head up and down a little bit until you find a position that gives you a nice stretch. And then on the next inhale, lifting the head back up through center, extend the hands behind you 1 more time. Take a deep breath in and we're gonna fold forward, keeping those hands interlaced if you can. If that feels terrible, you can also try holding on to opposite elbows. So see what feels better for you. And then we're all gonna release the hands down to the mat. So whatever you had going on with your hands, go ahead and bring them down to the mat. Take a breath, lift up halfway. So kind of flatten your back, your hands can come to your shins. As you exhale, bring the hands back to the mat, and we're gonna step it back to our plank position. So you go ahead and walk the feet back to the back of the mat, finding your plank position. We're gonna come down onto our knees, and then lower yourself all the way onto your stomach. On the next inhale, lift up into a baby cobra. So that one where we're only 2 or 3 inches off the mat, your fingertips are wiggling a little bit. And then go ahead and press the hands back into the mat. We're gonna find our way into a child's pose. So press the hips up and back, toes come together, knees are slightly apart. Settle into that child's pose for about 5 breaths or so. Finding any arm variation that feels good for you. So the hands can continue to reach to the top of the mat. You can stack the hands on top of each other with your head resting on them, or fingertips can be at the sides of your body by your toes. Grab a sip of water if you need. And just kind of come back to your mat if your mind started to go somewhere else. Slowly starting to walk your hands back towards the top of the mat if they weren't there already. And then we're gonna make our way back into our downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, straightening the legs, sending the hips up and back. Maybe you move here a little more if it still feels good, or maybe you start to find stillness, taking the gaze towards your shins or your thighs. Think about pressing that tailbone up and back. On the next inhale, you're gonna take your gaze towards your hands. Go ahead and walk back to the top of your mat. Forward fold at the top of the mat. Hands come to the shins. As you inhale, lift up halfway. As you exhale, fold. On the next inhale, lift it all the way up. This is called Urdhva Hastasana in Sanskrit. As you exhale, hands can come to the side of the body. This is Tadasana. So we're gonna move through that little sequence again. On the next inhale, the arms are gonna lift up. As you exhale, fold it forward. On the next inhale, lift up halfway, hands come to shins. As you exhale, step it back to your plank position. So your hands come to the mat, the feet step back to the back of your mat. Coming onto your knees, lower yourself all the way down. This time you can press up a little higher if it feels good. So finding a cobra, begin to press the upper body up. If you liked that baby cobra, stay lower. You wanna be gentle with your back here. And then instead of going to our child's pose, from here we're gonna go right back to our downward facing dog. So go ahead and tuck the toes, straighten the legs, finding your downward facing dog again. Take the gaze to your hands. Maybe one giant step to the top of the mat, or maybe you take a couple smaller steps. However you get there is fine. Take a halfway lift when you get there, so halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifts it all the way up, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to the sides of the body. Good. One more time, same thing. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, so your hands come to your shins, flat back. Exhale, back to plank position. Hands come down to the mat, step the feet to the back. From your plank, your knees are gonna come down. Lower yourself all the way down. If you go slower, it gets a little more challenging. And then as you inhale, find your cobra. Press the upper body up. And as you exhale back to your downward facing dog, go ahead and tuck the toes, straighten the legs, send the hips up and back. Take the gaze towards the thighs or the shins. And then flipping your gaze towards your hands, same thing. Maybe one big giant step to the top of your mat, or maybe a couple steps. Finding a forward fold, halfway lift for space. Every time you exhale and fold, come a little deeper than the last time. And then on the next inhale, lift it all the way up, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, hands can come to the sides of the body. Good. From here, we're gonna step the left foot all the way to the back of your mat, coming to a warrior one. So that left foot is at a 45-degree angle. The right toes are facing forward. The hips are facing forward. As you inhale, lift the arms up. As you exhale, bend into that right knee. So relaxing the shoulders, lengthening through the arms. See if you can bend into that front knee a little more. From here, we're gonna come into a high lunge, which basically just means you're spinning to the ball of the left foot. So rather than having that left heel grounded down, you're turning that back foot a little bit so that now that left heel is lifted. You might find that you can bend a little deeper into that right knee. Take a deep breath in as you lift up through the upper body. As you exhale, we're gonna start to lean forward, almost like you're holding a ball and you're trying to hand it to someone in front of you. Reach the fingertips forward. Good. Keeping that right knee over the right ankle. On the next inhale, go ahead and lift it back up, straighten that right leg, and you can step back to the top of your mat and kind of shake it out a little bit. Do the same thing on the other side, so that right foot is gonna step all the way to the back, setting up for your warrior one first. So 45-degree angle with that right foot, hips face forward. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. As you exhale, bend into that left knee, relax the shoulders. And then from our warrior one, we'll start to make our way into that high lunge by spinning that right ankle up so the ball of the right foot is still on the mat. The right heel starts to lift up. Take a breath in for space. Exhale, reaching in front of you, handing whatever it is you're holding to someone in front of you. So think about reaching as far as you can forward. And then on the next inhale, lifting it back up, straighten through that left leg. And again, giant step back to the top of your mat, shake it out. Good. Let's come to a standing position with your feet about mat width distance, a little wider than your hips. Take a breath as you lift the arms up. As you exhale, fold forward. Take your peace fingers, the two fingers that you make a peace sign with, and then go ahead and wrap them around your big toes. You're gonna bend your knees as much as you need to get here. So I always like to bend my knees a lot. Take a deep breath in, kind of lengthen through the back of the body. And then as you exhale, use that connection with the toes to draw the upper body down a little bit more. See if you can bend the elbows behind you rather than out to the sides. And then go ahead and let go of that connection with the toes. You kind of shake your hands out a little bit. Bring the left fingertips in front of your left toes. Put a little bend in your knee. If the ground feels really far away, grab a block or a book or a pillow or something to rest that left hand on. As you inhale, you're gonna peel the right arm up. So you're looking towards that right hand, roll that right shoulder open. If this feels good, you're gonna stay right here. If you wanna add on a little bit, you're gonna bend the right elbow, bringing that right hand to the left hip behind the body. So that hand is behind the body, roll that right shoulder open, creating a little bit of a bind or a little bit of a twist. On the next inhale, that right arm lifts back up. As you exhale, the right fingertips come towards the right toes, right on the mat. Bend the right knee. And then as you inhale, peel the left arm up. Roll that shoulder open. Take the gaze towards the left fingertips so you're reaching up towards the sky. And then if you did that add-on on the other side, that left elbow can bend, the right hand can come towards the left hip. Keep pressing that left shoulder open. That's why we do that little hip-hand connection. It helps you get a deeper twist. And then slowly unraveling as you inhale, the left hand comes back up. As you exhale, the left hand comes back down to the mat. And then slowly start to peel yourself all the way up, reaching the arms overhead. And exhale, hands can come to the sides of the body. You can bring the feet back together. We're gonna make our way into a warrior two. So you're gonna step the left foot back to the back of your mat again. This time that left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. The right toes are still forward. Take a breath in as you lift the arms. Right fingertips reach forward, left fingertips reach back. As you exhale, bend into that right knee. So your hips are facing the side of your mat. The right knee is facing the top of your mat. From here, we're gonna flip that right hand so the right palm is facing up. Reach the right fingertips forward and then lift that right hand up and over your head for a peaceful warrior. So the left hand is gently resting on the back leg. You're not putting a lot of pressure on there, especially if the hand is around the knee. Just gently resting that left hand there, reaching the right fingertips behind you. And then on the next inhale, back to your warrior two. We're gonna bring the right elbow towards the right knee. Left fingertips are going to reach towards the top of the mat. So think about bringing your left shoulder towards your left ear. Good. Creating one long line on the left side of the body. Looking up towards the ceiling. This is called extended side angle. On the next inhale back to your warrior two. Go ahead and straighten that right leg. Turn the right toes to the side of your mat so that the feet are in the same direction. As you inhale, the arms lift up overhead. As you exhale, fold forward. Wide-legged forward fold or prasarita. Go ahead and move here however you like. So always up to you what you do here. If you want to rock from side to side, bending one knee at a time. If you like to walk your hands really far away from you. Maybe you hang like a rag doll. Really just doing whatever feels comfortable or natural or like a good stretch, really. And then slowly starting to lift yourself back up. You can bring your hands to your thighs, gently pressing the upper body up. We're going to take it right back in the other direction. So the left toes are going to turn towards the back of your mat now. As you inhale, the arms lift up, relax the shoulders. As you exhale, bend into that left knee, warrior two in the opposite direction. Take a moment, checking your alignment, and then once you're ready, that left hand flips so the palm is facing up. Reach the left fingertips forward, and then lift that arm up and overhead for peaceful warrior. Right hand is gently resting on the right leg, deeply bending into that left knee. Sometimes we forget about that left leg, so continuing to bend into that knee as you reach the left fingertips behind you. On the next inhale, back to your warrior two. And then we'll find that extended side angle. So the left elbow comes to the left knee, the right fingertips reach overhead. Think about bringing that right shoulder to your ear. Long line from that right foot all the way up to the right fingertips. And then on the next inhale, back to your warrior two. Go ahead and straighten that left leg. One more wide-legged fold so the left toes turn to face the side of the mat. As you inhale, lift the arms up. As you exhale, fold it forward one more time. Maybe you do the same thing as you did before. Maybe you do something different. You can walk your hands to one leg and then the other. You can walk the hands behind you and kind of draw the top of your head towards the mat. And then we'll slowly start to lift up, bringing the hands to the thighs, gently pressing the upper body up, and then just gently start to walk your feet back together. So you kind of shake out the legs a little bit, make your way back to the top of your mat. As you inhale, go ahead and lift the arms up overhead. As you exhale, dive it down, forward fold. We're gonna take that halfway lift for space, so bring your hands to your shins, find a nice flat back. And then as you exhale, fold forward, and then step it back to your downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk the feet back to the back of your mat. We'll take 2 breaths here. And we're gonna come into our Anjaneyasana, or crescent lunge pose. So to do that, we're gonna lift the right leg, point the toes towards the back of the room. This is called 3-legged dog. And then you're gonna start to draw that right knee forward, stepping the right foot in between your hands. That's a tough one. So maybe you use your hand to kind of get that foot there. Maybe you wiggle a little bit. That left knee can come down, untuck the toes. As you exhale, we're gonna find a half split by pressing the hips back, folding over that right leg. So you're straightening the right leg, kind of just folding over the right leg. And on the next inhale, re-bending the right knee, pressing the hips forward, and then beginning to lift up through the upper body. You can bring your hands to the right knee, or you can reach the fingertips up towards the sky, relaxing the shoulders. Think about really pressing that left front of the thigh down towards the mat. And then slowly bringing your hands back to frame out that front foot. We're gonna tuck the left toes straight in the left leg so you're in a low lunge. The left hand is gonna stay where it is. As you exhale, the right arm is gonna lift up and you're gonna look towards that right hand. So we're coming into a little twist. And then gently placing that right hand back down on the mat, we're gonna make our way back to downward facing dog. So the right foot is gonna step back to meet the left. Again, if you like to come down onto your knees to get there and then find your down dog, that's fine. On the next inhale, the left leg lifts, point the toes towards the back of the room. And however you can get there, start to draw that left knee forward, step the left foot in between your hands, right knee comes down, untuck the toes, exhale, straightens that left leg as you start to fold over the left leg. So press the heel or hips to the back of the mat, folding over that left knee. Getting a nice stretch in the back of the leg. And then gently starting to re-bend the left knee as you press the hips forward. Hands can stay where they are, come to the knees, or reach up towards the sky, whatever feels most comfortable to you. So pressing those hips down, finding your crescent lunge here as you relax the shoulders, take the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then slowly bringing your hands back to frame out the front foot. Tuck the right toes as you straighten that right leg into your low lunge. The right hand stays down, and as you exhale, the left arm lifts up. Roll that left shoulder open, looking towards the left fingertips. And then bringing that left hand back down to the mat. We're gonna find our way back to our downward facing dog. So stepping that left foot back to meet the right. We're all gonna come to a tabletop position from here. So if you were there already, go ahead and stay right there. If you're not, start to lower the knees down and just kind of shake out the hips a little bit, resettle. You can move through a round of cat and cow, or maybe grab a sip of water if you need. And then we're all gonna meet back in a seated position. So when you're ready, go ahead and start to come all the way back down onto the mat, extending your legs out in front of you towards the top of the mat, flexing through the feet, rock side to side a little bit as you settle in on the hips. And we're gonna do our pigeon pose in a seated position today. So you're gonna take the right foot, place it on top of the left knee. So you're making a figure four shape away from you, so like an upside down figure four. The hands are coming to the sides of the body. If you feel a good stretch in your hip already, you're gonna stay right here. If you're not feeling it yet, that left knee is gonna bend, the left foot is gonna come onto the mat. And then you're just gonna keep walking the heels towards the body or the body towards the left heel until you eventually feel that stretch in the right hip. Your hands can be on the floor on either side of you. And then really work on sitting up nice and tall. So if you need to bend the back a little bit, maybe that means that left foot can walk a little further away from you so that you can sit up taller. And then we're just gonna breathe into this for about 5 or more breaths. Maybe closing your eyes. Maybe as that hip starts to relax and starts to open, you keep stepping that left foot a little closer to you. And then slowly starting to slide that left foot all the way back down onto the mat. If you have the knee bent, you can re-extend the right leg, kind of tap the tops or the backs of the legs on the mat, and then we'll take it over to the other side. So that left foot comes right on top of the right knee. Both feet are flexed, so they're really engaged. Your hands are at the sides of your body. And then notice where you're at on this side. Might feel good here. Maybe you went a little deeper on one side than the other. That's okay. Start to bend that right knee, placing that right foot on the mat if you want to come a little deeper. And then, yeah, just noticing the difference in both sides, depending on a million different things. We can come deeper on one side than the other. That's totally normal. Letting the eyes close a little bit as you just breathe into that left hip. And then again, slowly letting that right leg straighten, extending the left leg, tapping the top or the back, I keep saying tops, the backs of the legs on the mat. We're gonna come to a wide-legged seated position. So go ahead and open up the legs, create a nice V shape with the legs, flex through the toes, take a breath in as you reach the arms up. As you exhale, start to fold forward. Just walking the hands away from you as far as it feels comfortable. Keeping the toes nice and flexed and active, so like you're trying to point your toes towards your body. And then just use that breath to fold a little bit further. Each time you inhale, see if you can make that back a little longer, a little straighter. And then each time you exhale, see if you can walk the hands just a little bit further away from you. Kind of what we mean when we say use the breath to come into that pose. You're lengthening and lifting with the breath. And then slowly starting to walk the hands back towards the body as you press the upper body back up. You can take the hands to the outsides of the legs and just gently press the legs back together. And then sliding so that your feet are right at the top of your mat if they're not there already. We're going to start to make our ways onto our back. So one vertebrae at a time, you can start to peel yourself all the way back down onto your mat. Take a deep, full body stretch once you get there, reaching the arms overhead. As you exhale, let the hands come to the sides of the body, sigh it out, let it go. And then bending the knees, bringing your feet to the base of the spine, we'll set up for a bridge pose. So on the next inhale, the hips are gonna start to lift up, pressing the hips up towards the sky. Your hands can continue to press into the mat, or you can start to roll the shoulders under you a little bit, interlace the hands under the tailbone, keeping really active through the thighs and the knees. The chin is tucking into your chest as you continue to press the hips up. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, you can start to peel the spine back down onto the mat. Once your tailbone touches, you can let your knees rock from side to side a little bit. And then we're going to do that one more time. So making your way back into your bridge pose when you're ready. Take a breath in, start to peel the hips back up one more time. Maybe this time you interlace the hands under the tailbone, wiggle those shoulders under the body. Keep the knees relatively close to each other so they're not completely flopping off to either side. They're kind of right there next to each other. The thighs are active. And then again, one vertebrae at a time, start to peel the spine back down onto the mat. Once the tailbone touches, those knees can rock from side to side. And we'll make our way into our inversion. So as always, you have options here. If you're near a wall and you want to use the wall, go ahead and extend your legs up the wall. Otherwise, just start to reach the feet up towards the ceiling. You can bring your hands or a block under your tailbone. Kind of support the lower spine a little bit. Flex the feet as if they're stepping on the ceiling. You can also bring your hands behind your legs if that feels more comfortable to kind of hold the legs up some more. That's an option as well. The idea is really just that you're getting those feet up in the air one way or another. And we're gonna hold this for about 7 to 10 breaths. So for a little while, Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you just focus on that breath. And then slowly starting to draw the knees back in towards the body. We're all going to find a fish pose. So extending the legs long, the arms are going to come to the sides of the body. You're going to press up through the forearms. So you're lifting up through the upper body. Let your head release back. So looking kind of behind you as you press the chest up, opening up through the throat and the heart. And then gently lowering yourself all the way back down onto the mat. Once you come down onto the mat, draw the knees in towards you. Give yourself a little hug one last time. Maybe even lifting the head up off the mat as you draw your forehead towards your knees. And then gently placing your head back down on the mat. Extend your arms to either side of you, making a little T shape with the arms. And then let the knees release to the right side, coming into a twist. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let the shoulders settle into the mat. You can turn your gaze so that you're looking to the left in the opposite direction of your knees. The eyes can start to close as we start to settle down and slow down. And then on the next inhale, the knees come back through center and over to the opposite side. The knees release to the left. The gaze can go to the right. Gently twisting through the back of the body. And then on the next inhale, the knees come back through center one more time. Keeping the soles of the feet together on the mat, let the knees release out to either side so you're in a reclined butterfly shape. Your hands can come to your thighs or they can rest on the stomach, wherever it feels most comfortable. Just allow the knees to release down towards the mat. Let the shoulders relax. You bring your hands to your stomach, you can feel that breath as the stomach rises and falls. And then from here, we're slowly going to begin our transition into Shavasana. So take a moment and ask yourself what it is you still need. If it's water, if it's a blanket, if it's a towel, go ahead and do whatever you still need, and then slowly start to make your way into your Shavasana, extending your legs long if that's where you want to end your practice. Extending your arms to either side of you, or maybe keeping your hands on your stomach if that felt good. So taking your time to settle yourself in here, taking up as much space as you need. Letting that breath flow freely. Letting the eyes close if they weren't already. And we're gently gonna relax the body even further. So starting with the feet, go ahead and bring your awareness to your feet, squeezing them really tight, creating a little tension, almost like you're making fists with your feet. Hold on to it. And then as you exhale, relax the feet, allowing the heels to softly press into the mat. And then bringing your awareness to your legs, start to squeeze your shins, your thighs, your knees, your glutes. The whole lower half of your body is getting really tight, really tense. Holding it for just a little longer than it feels comfortable. And then again, as you exhale, relax. Softening through the lower half of the body. Feeling the shins and the thighs letting go, melting into your mat. Bring your awareness to your hands, making fists with your hands, Start to squeeze the arms, the biceps, the triceps, draw the shoulders up towards the ears. Lots of tightness in the upper arms, the whole upper body. And then a big exhale relaxes here. Let the shoulders release away from the ears. Let the hands softly open. Maybe the palms are resting on the mat or they're facing up towards the sky. Arms are gently at the sides of your body. Bring your awareness to your stomach. Start to squeeze your stomach really tight. This always reminds me of doing a sit-up. So creating that really tightness in the core, holding it for just a little bit longer. And then again, as you exhale, let it go. Allowing that stomach to rise and fall with the breath again, moving freely. And then last but not least, bring your awareness to your face, squeezing your eyes really shut tightly, squeezing your mouth, wrinkling your forehead, maybe even lifting your head up off the mat a little bit. Make a funny face. And then finally exhale and relax. Allowing the head to gently rest on the mat, allowing the jaw and the forehead to soften. As you slowly settle into your Shavasana for a few moments before I bring you back out. Slowly beginning to deepen your breath. Gently starting to move your fingers, your toes, your wrists, and your ankles. Maybe you reach your arms up overhead or draw your knees in towards you. Whatever feels good. If it feels comfortable, you can turn over onto one side, coming into a fetal position, resting the head on your arm, the knees bent, or just stay right where you are if that feels better. But taking these last few moments here on your mat, just allow all that peace and calmness that you created to start to settle right there inside of you, so that when you get up off your mat in a few moments and go back out into the rest of your day, you can carry that feeling with you. Things get a little crazier, you can go inward and find that peace that you created. When you're ready, slowly start to make your way back up to a seated position, gently pressing your hands into the mat to lift yourself up. You can keep your eyes closed as you bring the hands to heart center. As always, I'm so grateful for all of you for tuning in virtually and joining me tonight. I hope you have the most beautiful evening, beautiful weekend, and a great week ahead. Until I see you again, namaste. Thank you, guys. So class is still on next week.